Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Emma and today we're gonna be doing a little bit of a different video. Today I'll be explaining to you how I became an exchange student and answer a few of the questions that you've asked me on social media. Yeah, let's get right into it. I gotta go to school, so I gotta be quick. So let's start with, I'm just gonna start chronologically, and if I don't explain something that you've asked me, I'll just look at the questions and answer right away. How I became an exchange student. So 2 years ago, my school sent out a message with this, I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting sick. So they sent out a message with this program that grants scholarships to students that earn it, and they send those students to the United States for 10 months on a scholarship. The program is called KLES, and it stands for Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange and Study. They sent out a message, and because the acceptance rate is like so low, it's like 3%. I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna get selected. Probably the best students in the country are gonna try out, and it's a merit-based scholarship, so basically you have to earn it. I decided to try, and I'm gonna explain to you a little bit later about the whole application process. So fast forward, I get selected a few months after I had applied, because like it takes a long time. So I get selected, and I think April. So I was in Spain with my parents, and it was funny because I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I got the email? Because there was like a range in time from like probably like February to May that you can get the email. And so we were in Spain for a week, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I got an email either getting accepted or not while we're here? It was just a joke, but a few days into the vacation, I get the email, and I was so scared because I thought that if I didn't get in, this would ruin my whole vacation, and I would not have been happy because I really wanted to get selected. And I actually thought I had a chance because I was on the last round. I got the email. We were shopping with my parents, and I was just with my dad, and I get the email, and my mom was so mad at me that I didn't wait for her to open. But to be honest, when I got the email and I saw the headline, I knew I knew that I was in, because it said congratulations. But I was like, okay, maybe it's not fully congratulations. And my dad was like, wait, don't open it, I need to film this. He took his camera out and he started filming. So I opened the email and I started reading that I'm selected to go to the States. I started crying. We were in the middle of the shopping center. My mom and my sister come back and they see that I'm crying, and they were like really worried. So my mom asks what happened, and I tell her that I received an email. So after I got the email, I needed to confirm that I'm gonna go, because some people decide not to. I confirmed, and I waited a few months for my host family to get, like, for them to choose select my host family, my host school, what state I'm gonna go to, because we didn't even know what state we could go to. We were 16 people out of the whole country. They found a host family and a host state to everyone except me, and I didn't get one. So it was like 5 days left, and they were like, I'm sorry, we're gonna wait till September, and if we don't get a host family, your exchanger is gonna be like changed to next year. I was really sad, and my cousin was over. It was like midnight, and we were watching a movie here on my bed with my cousin, and I get a notification on my phone, and I just look at it with the corner of my eye. I didn't even think that it was gonna be a placement report. Well, joke's on me. I look and I saw that it was a placement report, that I had a family, their names, my school, like everything. I was like really happy, and I knew that my mom would be mad at me if I waited until the morning to tell her. So I ran upstairs and I woke them up because they were asleep, and I told them, and we read the email, the names of my host parents, my school. We looked everything up. We emailed my host parents, and so like we did the whole thing. My host family didn't know that I was gonna arrive in 5 days. Well, it was a week because we had 2 days in DC. They were in California, and I had to stay with my local coordinator for like 2 weeks before my host family came back. Now I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about how I applied. There were 3 rounds. The first and the second one, everyone that applies completes. The first one is a short application where you put like basic information about you and your parents. You have to be eligible and like stuff like that. Then the second round, after you complete the first round, you get an email. That email has a 15-minute English test. It's not a really hard English test. So you get the email and you have to do the English test. That happens in October until the beginning of November. Then you wait until like December. For us, it was like the 2nd of January that we got it. If you got selected to continue. I was again on a holiday and at a ski resort, and I got the email. I was with my best friend. So the last round is the most selective one, where the most people fall out of the competition. It was basically a longer application. There was also interview one-on-one with like the people from the program, and after the interview there was a parent meeting if like the parents had any questions. Oh, there were proctored essays, so 3 essays in 45 minutes, 150 words each, and it was basically just like questions about yourself and why you want to go be an exchange student. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my program in detail. So the program was founded in 2002 by two senators, Ted Kennedy and Richard Lugar. The program was founded for like cultural exchange after 9/11. They wanted to show to countries with Muslim population that they're not negatively, like they don't think negatively of all Muslims just because of 9/11. You don't have to be Muslim to get selected. I'm not Muslim and I got in. They're inclusive to all sorts of religion, ethnicity, etc. So my program is for countries with Muslim population, but there's also Flex, which is for countries from the broken USSR. So that's how I got selected. The essays and the interview, and there was another English test that was longer. It was like an hour, but it was not harder. But yeah, after I got in, I told you they were looking for host families, and mine took a long time. And we even had students that stayed in Bulgaria until like September because they didn't find them host families. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about my experience in the state I was in. I was in Minnesota, Woodbury. I was in this small charter school. It was called St. Croix Preparatory Academy. My family was, I had my parents, Danielle and Jonah, and then I had 2 brothers, Henry and Logan, and I had 2 sisters, Bella and Hadley. And I also had a bunch of dogs and cats. I had 3 dogs, 3 cats. I had a lizard, 2 birds, and like a bunch of other animals. Wait, what am I missing? Birds, lizard, fish, shrimp. We had turtles for a little while. My dogs, my favorite one, Charles. I had Pappy, Mac, the cats, Ruth, Lila, and Charlotte. Then the birds were Henry's birds. Overall, it was chaos. I hadn't, because back home I have 1 sister and my parents, and we don't have any animals. So it was really an adjustment, but it was so like, I don't know, I loved it so much that now it's so unusual to me to live in like such a quiet house. Like, so overall it was also a process to adjust back home. But when I left for the States, it was such a weird experience because first of all, we were alone. We couldn't see our parents or like any friends, so it was definitely an experience that we had to like learn how to deal with life alone without our parents, and that was difficult. And living in a family, living with people that you don't know, is hard, and adjusting is hard, but keep in mind that they also adjust too. Now I have a few questions. I'll see if I answer them. Where in the US did you go? I went in Minnesota, Woodbury. And fun fact, I actually wanted to go somewhere warm, like California or Florida, but also I'm thankful I didn't go there because I love the warm. Now I prefer the cold. It was really funny because I was like, I'm gonna go to Florida, I'm gonna go to LA, like, you know, I had these big expectations. I didn't. I got sent to the Midwest, and I wouldn't change it for a thing. The weather was so cold in the winter. It was probably like 6 months winter. It got down to negative 30 degrees Celsius. It was so cold, but it was such a nice winter because we had like so much snow. It was probably, I think it was the 10th snowiest winter overall. So it was like, it was really sunny. Now I love winter and I would go back to Minnesota any day. Let's see the next question. Was it scary to be an exchange student? Yes, I was scared a lot. Even like before, that's not something I tell most people, but overall I was like really debating whether to confirm or to deny the acceptance because I was really scared. I didn't know how I'm really close with my family, and I didn't know if I was gonna be like, if I was the right person to do the exchange year. After I went there, overall there were moments where I was really scared because I thought that like I didn't know how to deal with situations because I don't know, it was like a completely different place. I didn't know anyone. I had to do things I've never done before. What was I saying? I forgot. But yeah, overall I had like a lot of experiences completely new to me, so it was really hard to like, you know, like go past that barrier where you're just like scared to do something even though it's not so scary. So let's see the next question. I would love to do an exchange year, but A, I can't afford it, and B, I'd have to move down a year when I got home, which is my worst nightmare. To answer your first point, I can't afford it. Exchange years are really expensive because my best friend, she's from Germany and she was on exchange year and she was paying for it. My other like really close friend, we're a group of 4 friends. She's from Italy and she was also paying for it. And I'm not saying there's anything bad about it because that's an amazing opportunity that their parents gave them. There's also programs that support you financially. For example, my program, KOES, completely pays for it. It pays for your plane tickets, it pays for like medical insurance, which is very important in the States. It gives you a stipend every month. For me it was $200 every month, and then I had separate $300 for the 10 months for stuff like a winter jacket or like winter boots or whatever. So I was on a scholarship and my parents didn't have to pay anything except like give me money just like when I need something outside of those $200. And most host families are really like helpful. My family, if they knew it would be a problem for my parents to pay like the plane tickets to Florida or to Chicago, they offered, and like they would always offer to take care financially. Your host family is supposed to provide you food, at least with my program. Your host family is supposed to provide you food, transport, bed, and like stuff like that. And my host family would provide me a lot more than that. They would give me, because like in the beginning when I moved in with them, they told me that everything they buy their kids, they're gonna buy me. And so I didn't have to buy deodorant or like toothpaste or toilet paper or like pimple patches. Like they would give me everything I needed. Overall, families often are really supportive, and offer you their help financially, but sometimes that's not the case, so you shouldn't rely on that. But if you're on a scholarship, you get a stipend. And there's a lot of, I've heard of quite a few scholarship programs, but I know of my program, yes, and then Flex. It's definitely, like, this should not be concerned. There's scholarships that you can get. You'd have to move down a year when you got home. This was the case for a few of my friends that were also from Bulgaria. And for me, I had to take exams when I got back because I missed a whole year. And overall, the teachers were really helpful. They would like tell me what parts of like the whole year to work harder on, and like they were really helpful with that. But this should also not be your concern, because the year that you get in the States is definitely worth it to like just repeat it here. Yeah, I get that point. Let's see if I have another question. This one I answered. Okay, what organization did you transfer with, and how much did it cost, and what school and what grade are you, and what school I want to go so bad but it's always expensive. Again, it's not expensive, there's scholarships. What organization? KO, yes. The YES program. How much did it cost? It didn't cost anything to me. And then what school and what grade are you? What school? I was there, St. Croix Preparatory Academy, and I was there in the 11th grade, and here I'm 11th grade again. Yeah, but that's it. Basically, it's not expensive. You can get a scholarship. Try it out. It's definitely an amazing experience that is worth it. I can make a whole other video. You can follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok, or like here. So follow me on my social media and you can ask me questions there, and I can make a second video answering to your questions if I didn't mention something. But yeah, overall it's definitely a worthwhile experience, and it's also something that happens once in a lifetime. For me, my exchange year made me who I am, and it definitely changed me in a lot of positive ways. And I got an experience that, like, I learned things that I wouldn't have learned otherwise. Yeah, it was like, you have to learn to do a lot of things yourself, and it's an experience that really helps you. And also another thing that I didn't mention, you have a coordinator, and when you go there, there's a system of communication, which if you get selected, they tell you all about. There's like a lot of orientation before you travel, when you arrive, before you leave, after you leave. Like, there's a lot of orientations throughout the year. You have placement organizations. So basically the system, like the line of communication goes your coordinator, then your regional coordinator, and then it's like up the steps. I don't even remember what it was. I contacted my coordinator once a month, because they have to check in with you once a month, and with your school once every 3 months. And so my coordinator I got really close with her. Her name's Rebecca, and she really helped me with like a lot of stuff. First, I stayed with her for 2 weeks, and like she took me places, and I got to know her and her family. And it was a really nice bonding experience, and she was also of big help when I had some problems. And generally, having someone that supports you is good, because as I told you, you don't have a support system there in the beginning, so it was good to have someone that you can communicate with. So your coordinator is someone that if you have any sort of problem, you reach out to. Yeah, that's for today's video. Try to be like the most informative. I try to tell you everything and cover everything. I don't know if I did. But if you have any questions, do follow my social media. Ask me questions there. I do encourage you, apply. Right now, it's the application deadline. The application, like, it's open right now to apply until October 24th. Apply for the program, and it's definitely an experience worth doing. So if you like this video and you think it was helpful and I told you things that you didn't know, like the video down below and subscribe to my channel. Follow my social media accounts. Again, I'll put them up here. And yeah, that's it. I hope you liked the video, and see you next time.